When I'm coming up with ideas for zombie content, I like to run through the maps that I like playing, such as Buried, Origins, most of the Black Ops 3 roster, and some maps from Black Ops 4. There are also a handful of maps that I tend to avoid, like completely. Mob of the Dead, Die Rise, Moon, and today's map of choice, Shangri-La. None of those maps that I've just mentioned are bad in any way, well, except for you. They're certainly popular maps, and I am a fan of them in terms of lore and whatnot, but they're not typically the maps I want to play. Now, I am hoping to be more accepting of those maps throughout the year and play them more, and that's why we're starting today with Shangri-La. Other than just picking out the map, but I also run through the various types of challenges you can do within zombies. Are we going to do something like the 115 challenge that incorporates a bit of everything? Or are we going the simpler route with a round 50 with a selected weapon or weapon class? Which, funnily enough, is exactly what we're doing today, and I chose shotguns. Honestly, don't know why. Black Ops 1 shotguns, and yes, we are doing this on Black Ops 1. The shotguns on that game stink. Like, league player level stink. Just awful, bad in every way. Olympia, literally the worst thing to ever exist. Stakeout, the most deceiving gun there is. Looks good at first, is good at first, and then just completely awful once it gets going. There's also the HS-10, which, no. And lastly, the Spaz-12. To be honest, I'm not even sure that's on Shangri-La, which is annoying, as it's the only one that's at minimum a 5 out of 10. So yeah, this should be great. And what else would be great would be if you could drop a like on this video, as it really does help out the channel, and also let me know in the comments what are the videos you want to see me do. We started off in probably one of the worst ways possible by committing a heinous act against humanity and my own sanity, and that was by purchasing the Olympia. Almost immediately, I then remembered why I hate this thing so much, because it's straight up the worst thing to ever exist. First things first, however, gotta let the monkeys know who's boss, you know? I knew that if I wanted a somewhat successful run, which by the way, I'm counting anything above 20 to be somewhat successful, so you know, that's the bar. So if I wanted that round 20, I needed the stakeout. With quick revive bought, it was time to leave spawn. The stakeout is also in a bit of an awkward area right near power, and there is a clear, quick, easy way to it by going the right way out of spawn and then going through the weird plate room. Going this way, you only need to open like 3 doors. It's super easy and also not that expensive. So what did I do? I went the other way, which is not as easy, and there's about 2 to 3 more doors to open, which makes it way more expensive and time consuming and dangerous. So yeah, don't ask me why I did this, okay? I don't know. What made going this way a little more difficult was simply my weaponry. The Olympia struggles to kill things from round 2 onwards. Round 3 zombies are tanking headshots. I've got no ammo in the pistol. Melee still takes like 2 hits even after a headshot with the shotgun. It's safe to say the next few rounds were going to be stressful. Things got worse for me on round 4. I get surrounded by zombies and take it down. Now, if I was using a gun that could, you know, take out more than 1 zombie before needing to be reloaded, and then not also take an age to reload, we would have been cruising these early rounds. But I didn't have that. I had this stupid shotgun that I hate with every fiber in my being. Back end of round 4, we make it to the power room. Power is now on, and I have access to the pack-a-punch. I just needed to find the plate. Shortly after, we finally make it into the room with the stakeout, but it costs 1,500 points, so we flip the round. And considering it's round 5, and this is also Black Ops 1, Sprinter starts spawning from this point, I thought it'd be a good idea to go and repurchase Quick Revive. This is also where I found the plate to activate Pack-a-Punch, which I stood on, and it activated Pack-a-Punch for like 30 seconds when I had no any of the points. Now look, this is like the 3rd time I've played this map in about as many years, and I may have forgotten that Pack-a-Punch doesn't exactly stay open and that the plate moves, and I'd have to find it again for the next time I wanted to Pack-a-Punch. With that mistake out of the way, we buy the blue safety juice and move on. The second I hit 1,500 points, I begin making my way to the stakeout. I don't care how many zombies were in front of me, nothing was going to stop me from getting this gun, especially considering it meant I no longer had to use this shit stick that is the Olympia. Stakeout bought, and I can finally relax a little bit. That wasn't until I realized how little points you earn with shotguns, and the fact I still had to buy pretty much all of my perks and Pack-a-Punch. I so very almost take a second down of the game as the first napalm zombie spawns, and I get way too close to him as I kill him, and he explodes, which immediately gets me to red screen, and I got so lucky that there wasn't just a second zombie waiting in the shadows behind me, as that would have been down number 2 and my mental would have been immediately in the bin. With our near-death experience behind us, I opened up the other side of the map where I found found Jug, and buying that was now my only purpose. Another napalm zombie spawns, but this time I've learnt my lesson and I keep my distance. The added help of insta-kill also made taking this one down a much less terrifying fight. Jug bought, and that's 2 perks down with 2 to go. With double tap not really being the best thing in the game, I set my eyes to stamina up, as I knew I'd be doing a lot of running around on this map rather than just staying in one spot. So around 7, I head down the water slide and go straight to stamina up and get it bought. But there's now only needing speed cola to complete the setup. However, now that I had a somewhat decent set of perks, I opted to wait on Speed Cola and instead focus on getting the points for Pack-a-Punch. This does take me a few rounds, as shotguns are still awful at getting points even when there are more zombies to kill. On round 9, I almost take a second down. I get overrun just by this water thing and jump down to try and escape, only to be bombarded by more enemies where I get trapped, but miraculously I don't take it down, and even now whilst I am writing this, I still have no clue how I survived there. Kinda wild. I run down to the stakeout wall by, grab some ammo, and then open up to this waterfall area where the box is. We spend the box and pull monkeys first time, which is also kinda nuts. We clear out the rest of the round, and for real this time, Pack-a-Punch is the priority. So at the end of the following round, we get it activated and the stakeout is our first gun to be upgraded. Round 11, a Pack-a-Punch stakeout, and I'm finally feeling good. End of the round, I pick up our final perk, being Speed Cola. The only thing now that I'd ideally want is a better secondary. With that said, I grind together a bunch of points and get to spinning the box, and of course on my first spin, out pops the ray gun, which I can't take. I did however get extremely close to grabbing it at the very end, but ultimately I didn't. The game from this point on basically just consisted of me running around in one big loop around the map, with the shotgun hoping that I didn't get trapped and die. Round 14, with no possible sight to getting a better shotgun than the Olympia, I decided to get a Pack-a-Punched. I know. What has my life come to? The steep as low as Pack-a-Punching the Olympia. Jesus Christ. It didn't really matter, however, as at the beginning of the very next round, I get myself trapped and we take it down. Upon being revived, there is no escape and we end up taking our final down of the game on round 15. Not a great first attempt, so I ran it back. Now, instead of running it back on Black Ops 1, my 4 brain cells had an incredible idea, and that was to play Black Ops 3 Shangri-La, which I agreed to without hesitation. Of course, I'm going to play the version of the map on the infinitely easier game. First few rounds started off with a lot of knifing, as there isn't an Olympia wall buy and spawn on this map. And I can't be the only person who thinks it's kind of an L that we didn't get the original guns back from these maps in Chronicles, like we did with Resurrection in Black Ops 1. Imagine the hammer in Black Ops 3 Origins. God, the things I would do. At the beginning of round 3, I decided to spin the Gobblegum machine just to see what I'd get, and it was a Perkaholic, which I took. I know, he used a Perka, and so what? Gotta spice things up a little bit, you know? At least this time we might have a stressful free round 20. What am I kidding? This is Shangri-La we're talking about here. That's never gonna happen. So with my newly acquired perks, I set off opening up the map, and I couldn't find the KRM wallbuy anywhere, or any shotgun wallbuy for that matter. In fact, I checked the entire map and I didn't find any shotgun wallbuys at all, which kind of had me panicking. As I had no way of just outright buying a shotgun, I picked up the Bowie knife to at least keep me alive. And yeah, that Bowie knife, by the way, I had to put in the work because I didn't actually get a shotgun until round 9, when the box spit out the brekkie. And to put things into perspective, I got things like the Dingo and the Raygun Mark II before even getting a sniff of a shotgun. Like, what is that about? With the shotgun finally acquired, I headed off to Pack-a-Punch. With the brekkie upgraded, the confidence was flowing. I headed back down to the box, which is where I pulled the KRM, and as I had Mule Kick, I decided to just go for a full house of shotguns. Round 12, I continued to hit the box, and because I'm an idiot and the fact that I wasn't paying attention, I ended up swapping out the brekkie for an RPK. And I know someone will be like, oh well, you shouldn't be taking it anyway. The only reason I do this is to speed up the process because I am lazy. But sometimes it does bite you in the ass, just like today. It actually takes me a few more spins of the box when I get the Raygun Mark II again to finally realize what I've done. And it's safe to say I wasn't the happiest. With my little blunder, the KRM had to carry me for a few rounds, but on round 13, I picked up the Argus, or the Argus, and on the following round, I get the Haymaker to complete the trifecta of shotguns. From this point on, there is nothing I need to worry about except killing zombies, which these shotguns do pretty damn well. We cruise past our previous best of round 15, and on round 18, I get the final gun in my roster Pack-a-Punched. which was a complete waste because no more than 15 seconds later I take it down, losing it, which is great for me, huh? No need to worry about grinding out perks as we pop a perker immediately afterwards just to annoy all of the gobblegum haters out there. But yet again, it doesn't matter as I end up taking a second down just after crossing into round 20, and things are very quickly beginning to fall apart. We grind out a few more rounds with the Haymaker and the KRM, but on round 22, I take a third down, and as I'm running away from the zombies, I turn around and just blast them all with the Haymaker. But to my surprise, they all apparently respawned within about 0.3 milliseconds, and as soon as I stepped into the waterfall area, there was just a horde of zombies waiting for a scran. Round 22 is the final round for shotgun only Shang, and never again. No chance in hell I'm doing this again, just don't even ask. Thank you for watching, and as always, I'll see you guys in the next one.